In the early 1500s, Spain and Portugal were securing unprecedented wealth from newfound continents, navigating routes that few others even knew existed. This dominance was maintained through a total monopoly on geographic data, with the Iberian crowns treating navigational charts as their most sensitive state secrets. This is the Casa da India in Lisbon, the bureaucratic hub where every Portuguese maritime discovery was processed, catalogued, and hidden away. At its center was the Padrón Real. This master map was a living database, updated in absolute isolation by crown cartographers, using the logbooks of every returning ship captain. To protect this data, the state enforced the Política de Sigilo, a policy of silence. Sharing these coordinates with a foreign power was an act of treason punishable by death. During the Age of Discovery, a map was not a tool for the public. It was a classified weapon of imperial supremacy. Because this information represented a monopoly on global trade, it eventually became the target of the era's most ambitious espionage efforts. In 1502, an undercover agent named Alberto Cantino bribed a Portuguese official with 12 gold ducats to smuggle out a copy of the Padrón Real. This stolen artifact, the Cantino Planisphere, revealed the Tordesillas Line, a legal meridian dividing ownership of the world between Spain and Portugal. Along the African coast, small crosses mark exact locations of padrons, stone pillars erected by explorers to mark calculated latitudes. But while a master map was useful for kings, it was useless for sailors. For actual navigation, pilots needed a rudder, a practical sailing manual containing tide tables, safe anchorages, and seasonal wind patterns. In the 1580s, a Dutch merchant named Jan Huygen van Linschoten infiltrated the Portuguese network in Goa, India, spending years meticulously copying these classified manuals. Linschoten published this intelligence in 1595, detailing 67 specific routes, revealing that Portuguese control over the spice markets was far more vulnerable than their secrecy suggested. By translating the operational mechanics of the Iberian empires into print, Linschoten exposed the logistical data required for rival nations like the Dutch to begin their own trade expansions into Asia. Even with all this stolen data, a much deeper scientific problem remained. The maps themselves were mathematically distorted. Early flat charts failed to account for the Earth's curvature. If a pilot followed a constant compass heading on a standard grid, they were not actually sailing a straight line in reality. This diagram shows the result. Following a fixed bearing on an uncorrected map forced a ship into a curved path, leading it miles void from its destination. This 50-league error meant navigators found only empty ocean, dooming their crews. After nearly missing the Azores due to this distortion, mathematician Edward Wright dedicated his life to reverse engineering the Mercator projection to fix the error. Wright realized that to straighten the path, the distance between latitude lines had to increase by a specific factor toward the poles. By calculating the integral of the secant function, a straight line drawn on a flat map finally matched reality. In 1599, Wright published his findings in Certain Errors in Navigation. He didn't just provide a map, he provided the reference tables that allowed any cartographer to replicate his work. This shifted cartography away from a guarded state secret, establishing a framework where geographic data was debated and refined across a wider scientific community. This pattern of secrecy and disclosure repeated in the 20th century with the launch of the Global Positioning System. Through a protocol called selective availability, the US military intentionally degraded the accuracy of GPS for the public, ensuring only they possessed the highest tier location data. In the year 2000, the decision to permanently disable this degradation gave civilian devices the same high-precision coordinates previously reserved for military hardware. Whether distributing 16th-century sailing logs or releasing satellite data, the shift from state control to public access has consistently preceded major expansions in global navigation and trade.